Hello, everyone, and welcome back to JaianMusic Notes. This is a very, very exciting and special episode of JaianMusic Notes. We're doing a guest episode. We are breaking down the music in Avatar: The Last Airbender. One of the most masterfully told stories, deep world building, rich character arcs. But one of its underappreciated aspects, it's its music. And today, to break it all down, we have our first two-time guest appearance. Studio Mike is here. I'm so happy to have you on, man. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be on. It's an honor, if you will.
Yeah.
We talking about
Yeah. Zuko is happy to be here as well. Studio Mike was obviously on for the Dragon Ball episode that we did together. For the people who are unfamiliar with you and have not listened to that last episode, and they should, quickly, however you want to introduce yourself and your love for the music in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Well, I'm a musician, multi-instrumentalist, sound engineer for pretty much any purpose. I am a Twitch streamer under the handle Studio Mike currently, and I give feedback to people who are making music and probably don't know or do know that they desperately need help making that music. As for my love of Avatar's music, I think that, obviously you said it already, it's one of the underappreciated things, and I think that's because it does what it needs to, and it's not, I noticed today, it's not particularly well produced, but it does not have to be. It is musical themes that are well composed, at least, which is the bare minimum, well arranged and well implemented into the show's atmosphere. And the show had a profound impact. I only watched it later on in life, and I was surprised at how I had missed this all those years, because it was like it felt like it was always a part of my existence.
Honestly, it's funny that you mentioned later on in life, because later on in my life is when I became sponsored by Laser Audio Technologies. Ayo! For this podcast. That's the only relation I could have made. That was the only segue I could make. I'm sorry.
That was great. What do you mean?
Nonetheless, they make creative effects plugins. And if you use code JaianMusic, you get 25% off. Very worthwhile checking. Every dollar from that code goes straight back into the podcast, such as GoPro Kyo, who does all of the artwork. Okay.
Shouts out to that guy that person who does that, because that's some lovely stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, he's amazing, and please hire him as well for your artwork services. Tell him I sent him. I sent you. I sent him. I sent you to him. All right. The music and sound were not just background elements in Avatar: The Last Airbender. They were essential to the world's immersion. That's what I wrote at first. And I feel that there's a lot of differences between the music in the Water Tribe, the fire and wind and earth. Like, there's all these different places we can go to. But let's start general, and then let's go wherever the music takes us. How did you feel? Sure. You said the production wasn't the best, but the music does its job. On a general scale here, if you want to expand on those thoughts, where would you go?
On a general scale, I would say, okay, so seeing as I run a stream and I basically tell people what's wrong with their mix, what's wrong with their master, their recording, but also their arrangement and their songwriting. I see time and time again songs that are trumped in terms of production value, not by the production value itself, not by which mics were used, not by which preamps or the mix or the master. I see better songs made from songs that are well composed and well arranged and well thought out in general. I have a far more fun experience listening to those songs rather than songs that are yeah, the composition's okay, the arrangement's all right, but the production value, the mix is awesome. It's like, yeah, take me on an adventure with a good mix, sure, but like, please just take me on an adventure first. And I think
Right.
Avatar in general takes you on an adventure regardless, visually and storytelling wise, it takes you on that place.
Yo,
and the
that
music,
apple be going everywhere, bro. That apple be flying everywhere, bro.
yep,
Yeah.
mother. Oh wait, can we swear on this?
I mean, you swore last time, man. I'm not gonna stop.
Whoops. Yip, mother loving yip. There.
Do you really
I'll
think
censor
I'm gonna
myself.
stop you now? Like,
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. No, yeah. So
someone's gonna do it.
But yeah, I guess the element where I sort of distinguish between music that is like its own experience within the experience, like a Zimmer would do, and the distinction here is that like no, the music really frames things nicely, and they were wise to mix it in the back because again it sounds very meaty production quality. Sounds like some of those horns might not have been recorded properly until like maybe season 3 when they actually had a budget, and like that's fine because like you said it, all of the themes, all of the different tribes are not, well, the two different water tribes by the way have similar themes but are like still distinct in and of themselves. They did the same thing with the temples when they visited the ruins and the air temples. They think of these things.
They do.
It shows me that DiMarzio had a global vision for the show from episode 1, and that was translated, in my opinion, in the music.
Yeah, I mean, and also like Jeremy Zuckerman.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, all the props to Jeremy, because I really feel like there's an inspiration in real world cultures, and the music is very authentic to like a water. Like you could have a water tribe playlist, air nomad playlist,
Sure.
fire playlist. So when you like say sure to that, like what are the differences that you see? Like you even touched upon it when you said like the two water tribes have different, like how do you see the differences and the similarities in between the music with all these different cultural identities?
So great question. Great to
Thank you.
to kick us off into this, I guess.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
someone's
JaianMusic, by the way.
Someone's got to do it, man.
Yeah, asking the questions that matter for sure. So I see it comparable to actually the very similar to the way that they compare the bending in the show,
Right.
where air and water in general are like sort of yes, it was like the air and water seemingly like almost comparable in that they flow in a similar way, whereas fire and earth far more cohesive in and of themselves. They portray more of a more typical strength rather than a flexibility that
Or
is
a fluidity.
demonstrated.
Yeah.
Exactly, like fluidly moving. And I think that the musical themes acknowledge that really nicely. You hear those elements in earth and it's just like, here's the notes. This is what we're doing. These are the themes. These are the chords. Welcome to the song. Fire is far more like it swells. It like starts small and then it grows bigger than you can ever imagine it. Air, I find, is always just, well, to use it for lack of a better term, flighty, in that it is allowing for more of the show's personality to breathe rather than the actual music to come in there. And water, I find, is always this underlying layer, this underlying river, if you will, of sound that just is kind of a drone in the background and is kind of just there, but in a very passive, I'm always going to be here way.
Right.
Yeah.
But don't you feel like, this is just an opinion, this is strictly opinion what I'm about to say, but like listening to the music for like water tribes, I just felt like it was happier, and I feel like the music in earth and fire were more hurt.
Yeah, many minor themes found
Yes,
in those.
exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The pain, or like, I feel like you're right. Pain is a prevalent theme in fire and earth. Like minor themes, one of which is more in like the anger centric, and one is far more in the like sort of traditionalistic sadness kind of. If that makes any sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense, and it's also like if you look at like the first fire character we get introduced to is Zuko, and you're like, what's going on with his eye? What's that scar about? And he has this like he carries a lot of pain with him, and he's like kind of the Vegeta of the series with the honor thing. Just substitute pride with honor. And I feel like the music also whenever there's Fire Tribe involvement is always a bit faster in terms of like the Fire Tribe's there's a fight. There's a fight.
Yeah.
So we go to those like taiko type drums, or like
for sure.
We have
those
a driving
energetic
thing, and exactly energetic. Absolutely. Like why do you find that work or not work with the battle scenes? Because I feel like that's where a lot of excitement resides in Avatar. Like just like the panning, like, oh my god, is that a kick? It's a punch. I don't know, but it's gonna hit.
It's gonna hit. Whatever it is gonna hit. So like it's funny because you talk about those drums that pick up, and as you know, as you've actually played in it, I run a lot of D&D games.
Yeah.
And I use music as like part of the atmosphere building.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I put you in, and a lot of the times those themes when I say roll initiative and battle starts.
Right.
Oftentimes you get those quick strings or those heavy drums that begin to like raise the intensity. I think they do this masterfully. Obviously, when the Fire Nation gets there, you said it. The hands are being thrown.
It's going down.
Know? Yeah,
Who's swinging
stuff's
first?
Going down. Exactly. And usually it's the Fire Nation because they don't wait.
It's always the Fire.
It's always the Fire Nation. But yeah,
someone's gonna do it, man. Someone's gonna.
Yeah, and if you're wondering who it is, it's Zuko. It's always Zuko. No, or his general. I forget his name. I just watched the episode today. But anyways, yeah, I do agree. The activity that is the Fire Nation, the way that they just drop gloves and roll initiative, as I say, like from the get-go, we hear that often. When we hear that sort of tension of them waiting to start stuff, you hear almost like a crackling energy, if you will, like something that is like there's tension here. The drums might be there, but they might be doing low rhythm, like arrhythmic things that are just waiting for the moment to pop off. The drums are a huge indicator for energy, and fire is literally the excess of energy from matter being brought to its most energetic state. So why wouldn't they use energy? So, it's an interesting thought I had today, which is that fire and air, physically speaking, are extremely interrelated. Fire is essentially just excess, like particles and oxygen, excess particles excited at their most excited state,
right?
Plus oxygen, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's get scientific, yeah.
No, I mean, I do that sometimes. But, like, it's interesting that the music doesn't really like, when I hear Aang messing around with his buddies in the flashbacks at his monastery when they're like playing the sit on the ball game and all his friends can't do it because he's just such a master. You hear some of those beginnings of that energy come in, but it's always like undercut with this like whimsical kind of we're not taking ourselves seriously. And the only moments that I hear any of that sadness, any of that like conflict that we hear in Earth and Fire are really when Aang is confronted with like a new challenge that he has not faced yet.
Right. Absolutely. And the other thing too with, and I think like when you speak on Aang, like the air nomads have such a like chill lifestyle, to put it simply.
Oh, yeah.
And I find that their music is so light and just there's nothing too crazy going on. It's just gonna be like the music. Avatar in general, it doesn't have like bombastic scoring. It just has, like you said, it's there. Like we're not in Star Wars. We're not in Attack on Titan either. We're just here's a little plucky melody. Here's a little strings, and let's just let it
like a strum, and that's all it needs for that moment, right?
Very simple. Why do you think letting the dialogue and sound design breathe, which I believe were prioritized over the music when I'm listening to Avatar. Why do you think it works, and why would you let the silence carry the weight of that, the lack of music?
What a great question. Again.
Thank you.
Woo! On fire today. Fire. Anyways.
This is for my honor, okay, Mike?
You must take yourself a little less seriously, Zuko. Okay,
no, I have to podcast. I have to become the greatest anime music podcast of all times, Uncle. You don't understand.
But first, have some tea. Okay,
so first, the sponsor.
But first, the sponsor. The negative space is so powerful as a musical tool. Like, I often, again, on my stream, I'm often telling people sometimes you have to think of negative space as another member in your band that you give solos to. So you're like, hey, give me a silent solo. Everybody quiet up. Everybody be quiet. And then you let the quiet sort of take it. And then we all jump back in together, and suddenly there's a reason for us to want that.
Right.
I think at the end of the day, it might come down, just again, based on the production value that I heard in that show, the very sparse use of music and the very tasteful, I guess, use of it might have very well come down to a budget issue, that they could just not afford to get the best composition or the best recording or the best performance, whatever it may be.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I think that's the case.
I'm not sure. It's in my opinion, it's a possibility just because they use it so effectively and poignantly. Like, they put in a moment and then they wait for the next moment to insert themselves on and off. Exactly. I don't know that when you have that kind of show running, if you have the choice, obviously silence is not to be underestimated, but why wouldn't you go in on that composition or on that recording? Like, why wouldn't you get a full orchestra? Why wouldn't you get the London Philharmonic if you could?
Mike, I have to pause you there. There was one point I didn't put in the document, and I want to talk about it, and you're talking about orchestras, so I'll bring it right now.
Yeah.
I was researching this. If you go to, and I'm not making this up, avatarinconcert.com, there is a full-blown live orchestra that makes the music and matches to the scenes of the series.
When are we going?
So here's the thing. There is one in Montreal. It is literally the day that I leave for my vacation.
No!
It just someone's got to do it, man. Someone's got to go on vacation, man.
Does it have to be you that day? Are you serious though? They're going...
Yeah. April 4th. This will be out way by then. This episode will be not posted yet. Sorry, pardon me.
Oh, they'll be in Sydney on April 4th.
Oh, I thought it. Really? Let me look.
Oh no, you're right.
No,
you're right.
No, April 4th.
There's multiple orchestras. They do this all over the world.
Yeah. So you go on the website, and I wanted to save this for you. Soundtrack performed by a live orchestra as Aang's epic journey comes to life on a cinema screen. So basically, they're taking the scenes and they're playing straight to them. This is the same thing as the Dragon Ball concert I saw. Immerse yourself in an over 2-hour show with a live orchestra bringing the show's iconic musical score to life in perfect harmony with highlights and favorite moments from the series. Taiko and Hiru will share the spotlight with violins and clarinets while the series' most beloved scenes play out on screen, bringing viewers into the Avatar world to experience the series' most memorable moments with Aang, Katara, Toph, Sokka, Zuko, and more. Composed and arranged by Emmy Award-winning composer and musician Jeremy Zuckerman.
Yeah. Wow, he must be so happy.
Yeah. This is the dream. This is literally the dream. This spectacular production not only magnifies the epic scope and high drama of the series, but also marks a thrilling first, the chance to experience the captivating world of Avatar, the Airbender, through live orchestra concert. Wow. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, from meaty to the live concert halls of the world, this But see, this is the thing. It didn't have to have this in the original show. The composition was good enough for some like decently arranged MIDI tracks to have it. But this is like the dream, dude.
Yeah.
I think I might go to this.
No, I really hope you do, and let me know if you do. And that's the thing. It's so funny that when you say that, like, I do feel like from what I've listened, like I feel that the music is more small ensemble type stuff in Avatar, and that's why there's like maybe more of a negative music breathing spatial thing going on here. But at the same time, there's so many like cool leitmotifs, like Zuko has his own theme, and Aang has a theme, if I'm not mistaken. So many powerful like musical motifs throughout the series arcs, the series books. Pardon me. What are your thoughts on these musical on this musical symbolism?
Music, like you're referring to the actual like.
Yeah, the themes
attributed to characters and stuff.
Yeah.
I have I'm a big Lord of the Rings guy, so I have a high expectation when it comes to like what music is quote unquote necessary for a program, like quote unquote. But I think it's the bare minimum to have a musical theme for each of your at least main cast. It's just something that if you compose a simple enough theme, you have the access to a melody that you can insert in other moments where those characters might be implicated, or they're being thought of, or being just like referred to even. It's such a useful tool to have in a composer's tool belt. I'm doing that right now with in one of my D&D campaigns. I'm composing themes for each of my players' characters.
I love that.
Thank you. I could show you a little bit after the stream, but after
absolutely 100%. Anything you work on, I want to listen to.
Well, I'm honored as well, but like, yeah, that's for me. Like, it's almost a nod of respect to the significance of those characters. Like, you acknowledge that these characters, when you hear them coming, before you see them coming or know intellectually, when it feels like they're about to be in a part of the scene, and then you realize it's because that theme started playing just moments before they entered, that's powerful. Like, that's poignant. So I guess that's the significance of it, in my opinion. Like,
no, I completely agree with that. I feel like these different themes, like even like the Avatar, The Last Airbender opening theme. Long ago, the four nations lived in harmony and peace, but everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked, and so on. We all know what happened. We all know who threw the first stone. That theme itself, very dynamically, melodically transformative. Clashes, swells. Might be the most bombastic track in the series, because that's what catches you hit play on Avatar. That's the first thing you see. You gotta get the person's attention, you know. So I feel that I really like the way it just kind of goes all the way to the end of that track, and we just have that little plucky melody at the very end when we like get the shot of Aang. You know, Aang can save the world. And I feel like that's representative of like sonic languages in Avatar, with like even the like the air nomads having more of these stringy, plucky, twangy, airy melodies.
For sure, all of those. I think
like
they're shams.
Yeah. Even in the opening theme, you have like musical language and musical identity for like, okay, our avatar's an air nomad. So figure it out from there. So what do you think of that? Like, I know we kind of touched on it, but like, if we had to expand on that, like just the fact that there's like literal, in my opinion, sonic languages, when you look at the characters' leitmotifs or music according to different types of bending and battles, like there's like a lot of identities. There's a lot of way to section this off, and it's done very naturally, I find.
Oh yeah, I think I agree. Again, this is a series that did not say we need to put music at every moment in every intersection. No. Sometimes a simple effect played by a weird instrument or like an odd Eastern string instrument was enough. Just one strum, one pluck to just give intrigue. And you'll see that a lot, not so much in like movies, but you'll see that a lot in television shows where you get like, I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine these days, and sometimes they'll just start some
great anime.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough. But like you
Cory
see
in the House
happen.
is also a great anime. I just want to put it out there.
Which one?
Cory in the House.
I've never heard of that. I'm sorry.
That's a meme. Cory in the House is not an anime. It's a kid's.
I have no idea.
It's okay.
Either way,
that would have landed so hard if you knew what Cory in the House was. By the way, I'm not unfunny. Okay, chat.
He is the funny one. I am the uninformed one. Let's just make this clear here. I'm not so much of an anime guy, although animated series is. I love them when I love them, and Avatar is no exception.
Just Google Cory in the House at the end of this, okay?
I'm gonna like just Cory in the House. I'm just gonna type it in. I'm not gonna press enter. Anyways,
don't enter.
Yeah, no, I won't. To go back to your question, I think I have. Because the thing is I see a vivid example of like music without music is like when Momo is introduced as a full-out character, really, but like
definitely a character.
100%. Even though he doesn't speak a word, he is like just amazing. But when he's introduced and when he is like infantilized a little bit, and I picture him that music that's like boop, beep, whip, beep, boop, beep, whip, beep, boop, like it's very childish circus like music. And that again it lasts maybe a couple of seconds and then it's out. It's like they decide throw in something that exemplifies the emotion, and then once you've absorbed that emotion, okay, enough. Minimalism is really what it comes down to. I will say though, the more bombastic themes, you're right that one of the more bombastic ones is certainly the main theme, like the big horns and strings that just come out and play the big main melody of Avatar: The Last Airbender. But in book 3, I suppose, it would be like the final season, if you will, they start really making a lot of moments that are sound bigger. A prime example of it is when Aang is actually in the firebending school, and they invite everyone after the school to like come back to their cave where they're hiding out to do a dance party. And the music, again, it's not a lot. There's a couple of drums and there's a couple of horns. There's that East Asian horn, but the noise that it makes, the overall, not just volume, but the wall of sound that comes out at you is much greater than the sum of its parts. And I think that they start making those big decisions, those like big wall of noise, sound decisions in later seasons, because the stakes just get bigger.
We went from Naruto to Shippuden. We went from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z. The Dragon Ball Z of Avatar: The Last Airbender is season 3, book 3, firebending. Because like I even remember when Zuko was like teaching Aang about firebending. He's like, airbending is just a shot of air, a shot of water, a shot of earth. Fire will keep burning.
Create, it sustains itself. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. That's big. That's big. It's something that is everlasting, if you will.
And there's drastic shifts as well when you say that. Like, I feel like we're more overtaken by percussive drums and chanting, and the whole of that season, I remember it vividly, is much more operatic in the sense that like it's dramatic, it's chaotic, it's a wall of sound. Absolutely. Yep. It's like Here, have it all. Have it all.
Yeah, the choirs do come out a little bit more prominently in season 3 as well. They start bringing in those big choirs. Another good example is when you talked about how Aang was being taught firebending by Zuko, and when they go to the Sacred Dragon's Temple to learn the oldest form of firebending from the two masters themselves, the theme that is occurring in that moment, it is obviously very energetic, has those strings, has those drums, has that percussive and like wall of sound effect.
Absolutely.
But the actual melodies themselves are far more like airy and far more, they snake through, spoilers, they snake through the what's happening in the actual images that you're seeing. This is an excellent example of like going big, but for the moment you're going big for. Exactly. They're very, very adept at seeing what is necessary sonically in a moment and then like delivering on those necessities.
I completely agree with you. What about, like, we're talking a lot about like the music in this season, the music in this book, the music in this moment, but Mike, let me ask you the classic question that you ask when you no longer know what to ask. I still do know what to ask, but I do want to ask this. Standout songs / favorite songs for you in this series that like you absolutely love. I also know that Mike has a guitar, so if you want to exemplify or anything, or if there's any you don't even have to pull out the guitar. I'd love to, like, because you're someone, you listen to so much music all the time. You critique music all the time. Your life is music. So I'd be so curious to know what you like. Listen to the soundtrack. You're like, you know what? That one's the one.
I shamefully don't know the themes of all of these songs by heart. When I hear them, I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. But there are moments in this show where I know that I cried. I bawled my ass off for a lot of moments. And I feel like if I were to go back and listen to those moments, just the music, I feel like we could probably trace back a theme into those. I would say not necessarily the ones that I'm crying. I'm flitting through the playlist as it is now, and I think I want to say that the moment where Yue becomes the moon, very emotional moment.
Oh wow, you went there. Yue
becomes the moon spirit. Let me just hear this theme back real quick, just to make sure, because I feel like that one I was like, oh,
that we're like, I mean, listen as you listen, but this one I know which one you're talking about. We're going back into like some sadness and sorrow Naruto type of like gentle, fragile, very simple string-based composition here.
Yeah.
High register and like emotional.
Plays a lot on the like minor the minor sixth and the minor seventh. So like if the main key is, hold on, I'll put a cleaner tone here. If that's the major, the minor key, F sharp being the actual like home of the sadness, if you will.
Right.
When they start playing on the, it gives you that uplift of inspiration, and then it breaks your heart.
Let's go down, back up.
It's really, it's a masterful play with emotional music in general. Even with happy emotional music, you think of some of the most inspiring music, and it's all often playing on those minor sixth or like flat sixth, flat seventh, not minor, but yeah, like very emotional, like you said it, very minimal piano strings, a couple of impactful percussions in there every now and then, just to exemplify that. That moves me personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moments that are sort of synonymous with the character's emotions.
I mean,
that
you're literally like, you're saying the thoughts I want you, like the thoughts I'm having in my head. I love it. Like music that's tied to very human character moments. Like there's track 23 on the playlist, Zuko's Scar. Super.
I just watched that episode today. It was so good. Sorry.
No, I mean, no, like this is perfect. Like dramatic,
Yeah.
how to,
Those are the big
operatic,
Fire Nation horns.
operatic. My guy, like this is just like
Yeah.
emotion. Zuko, like you're fully immersed in Zuko's character when you listen to this. Like you said, more choral, and I just love those like ear candy drum rolly sounds they used to like pimp a little bit more of the music. I just love it. I just love it. I just love it.
I totally agree. It's funny that song, it starts with the big Fire Nation horns that like
The Fire
horns and
Nation.
strings.
It's almost like a sound design of Fire. Like it's just like you
Yeah.
hear that, you're like, okay, all right, where's the boat? Where's the boat?
Exactly. Oh, the ashes started falling already.
Yeah,
you know?
like burning tree. Okay, they're already here.
And we're dead. No, but you're right, eh? Like when we get into that song and we start like hearing the later moments, we start hearing the tragedy. You start hearing like you said it, the pain that is inherent in the Fire Nation. But like specifically for Zuko, they go these big, you said operatic moments, absolutely big strings, big timpani crashes and cymbal hits, and then they bring it down to like one cello and just like isolate you there. It's like the drama that is fire. It's like you can't start a fire without an initial flame, and that's what I feel like they, especially in this theme, they started it with the ba da ba ba. Okay, Fire Nation's here, but then it crawls back down. And then it crawls back up slowly over time, just like a fire kindling. And then it burns
Crescendo,
to a point where it's
decrescendo.
like,
Yeah.
Crescendo, decrescendo. And then it decrescendos for a moment, almost like, okay, the wood is running out of fire. Or the fire's running out of wood, almost. Like the fuel is getting low. And then it just ends. And it's crazy because I feel they designed a lot of their music composition based on the physical effects of the elements that they're dealing with, and that's just good songwriting, dude. That's good storytelling.
That's Jeremy Zuckerman doing his thing, my guy.
He did every other composer dirty.
And I would love to look more into like Jeremy Zuckerman himself. Like I feel like I don't take enough time to like dig into these composers on these shows. Like we just talk about like, oh, the music, the favorite soundtrack. But like I think he's definitely most known for of course he went to Berkeley. When's a Concordia electroacoustic graduate gonna like be on one of these anime shows? That would make me so happy, back here. But someone's gotta do it. Maybe I'll be the first. Who knows? But anyways, like what else is he known for outside of Avatar? Bear
I don't
Trek?
think he's. I don't know if he's known for
The Legend of
anything
Korra.
that-
Of course, Legend of Korra.
I mean, sure, but at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of Korra, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
I've never really been able to get through it in one sitting.
That's fair.
I've always had to break it up. He is somehow co-production. They sampled on the Trailer Park Singles EP.
I saw that.
I was like, oh, Trailer Park Boys, really? Am I the only one who knows this thing? I don't think he's done pretty much anything else of like of international repute besides of obviously Korra. But he played on David Lee Roth's album. That's pretty. He played on Diamond Dave. I don't know if you know David Lee Roth.
By name, the name says something. Yeah.
He was the singer of Van Halen for many years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And he played the Hammond organ on a programming, and played the Hammond B3, that beautiful Hammond sound, like a warm electric organ.
Right.
Oh,
I
love that instrument. Yeah, dude. Jeremy Zuckerman's not really out there. He really leaned. I mean, here's the thing, though. When you build this much music for one project and it has so much success, I don't know about you, I would be like exhausted.
No, I would, but like, me, like I would just make more music.
Sure. But like when you're leaning into actually like composition,
Yeah.
like pouring your brain and your heart into something, dude, that stuff tires you out. I'm giving you by the way, off the above the recording, I'm giving you like a clean take as well. If I swear, I repeat the clean version.
It's
after.
so okay, man.
In case you need to snip it out.
Just be you, man. Just be you.
All right, fair. I swear a lot in real life, so
that's who you are. That's it.
Fair.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Are there any other like big songs that come to mind that you wanted to like talk about? Because honestly I'm going through this list. Like I feel like I said most of the things I wanted to say about the music in here. There's like
let me just hear Roku destroys the temple. That too is it starts very choral.
Which one?
So
which
Lord
track
of the
number?
Rings-ish. Track 40.
Okay.
Very lamenty song. Very, very sad, and it sort of like starts in a place that's like isolated and alone with one's own destiny. And the more it advances, the more it saturates itself in that.
Oh my gosh! And I bet
sorrow.
you, without having to like hit like play much longer, like we're gonna go into something choral. Like I feel like choral. Like the second we mention choral, like I feel like every song I've hit play on it, there's choir.
Choral. Sorry, I had to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's choir voice in general, notwithstanding being the thing that humans sonically identify with the most.
Right.
It's also a very powerful songwriting tool. Sometimes I feel maybe overused in a lot of production, I guess, and maybe not so much in Avatar, because they do seem to pick their songs for the choral sort of arrangements. We have nailed a couple that feel very emotional to us, and Roku Destroys the Temple is absolutely one of those. That it's beautiful. I would listen to it standing on its own, and it would hold up. But
100%, it holds up. It's a really, really great track. No, I completely agree with you.
But it might speak to the effect of the voice on our subconscious, is like those songs that do touch on more emotional moments. They do put the choral in there. They do put the choir in there.
Yeah, because it's a human thing. It feels very human very quickly.
Yeah. It's easy points, right? But at the same time, if you really want to emphasize an emotional moment, it's kind of like, I don't want to say the only way possible,
right?
But it is one of those. Like, I'll give you an example. Lord of the Rings is again something I'm big on. When you hear the Hobbit theme, the do 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 do, that's usually played on a flute or a piccolo, something that it resembles a lot like a high soprano voice, like almost going ooh, ooh. That instrument does sort of cut through and sort of like settles you in before the strings kind of encapsulate you. And that theme eventually, again, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Lord of the Goddamn Rings, please do so. But by the third movie, the end scene, the last one, that theme is playing as the hobbits get on. Have you seen it, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The theme is playing, just making sure that we can still be friends.
Of course, I understand.
No, yeah, that theme is playing as they start to get on the boat to leave for the Grey Shores, and that theme merges into one that is a choir of, I guess, what they intend to be elves singing, and this very basic 4-chord pattern, very, very simple, very, very basic, but again, you want to appeal to people's baser instincts, baser emotions, while these 4 characters that you've experienced for like 12 hours on end to end, now finally end this journey. It's like, oh, that powered through my emotions like a freight
Very,
train.
very emotional. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Avatar, I feel like they do that very, very well in those moments. In specifically, like, we need you to cry now, so here's a choir.
Yeah, definitely. No, I completely agree with you. I guess for like me on on a final point type of thing here, the music in Avatar was always going to relate to the human being, because it's all about a human conflict since the beginning. It's all about the 4 nations not coming together and then being communalized together with an avatar. Like I will be the leader, and
Right.
I will rid you of your of what's wrong. And what's wrong was the Fire Nation attacking, and even at the very end, like how PG-13 of them to be like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm gonna remove your bending.
Right.
Like
Gonna make you more human.
make you more human. Ah, I love it. I actually,
What a
I
move.
absolutely love it.
It was PG-13, but I would say if they hadn't dealt with killing the Fire Lord Ozai so much in the past, in the episodes before it, like specifically they debated the morality of it in a very like, what would you do if you had a gun and you saw baby Hitler next to you kind of thing. They did that ethical debate over multiple episodes. And so yes, it was PG-13 as an ending goes, but I don't feel it was because they had to go PG-13. I feel like it was because we can be tasteful about this ending, but also tell a moral story of make yourself more vulnerable in times where you are a tyrant.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I guess that's all I got. Did you have any last final thoughts, Mike, before we go to plugging and everything?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been listening to this and you don't watch or haven't watched Avatar: The Last Airbender,
You're spoiled.
Go do so. You're spoiled big time. But like, stop. Like, I guess I should have said this at the beginning.
Stop
but like,
listening
Jesus,
now.
go listen.
Forget
go
everything
watch.
we told you.
This, it's an amazing show. Again, I don't think that amazing shows exist without at least really well composed music. I don't think, let me rephrase that. I don't think amazing content exists without an amazing soundtrack of some kind, whether it be music or sound design. I'm like a bunch of movies in my head are flashing, and every single one of them where I'm like, that had an emotional impact on me one way or the other. Sound was taken seriously. And again, we don't appreciate it because we can't see it. Visual art in general, I say this often on my stream, visual art has the advantage of being able to be frozen in a moment and captured, and you don't have to, it doesn't have to change. You could just paint a picture and that's the picture. Anime is a bunch of pictures. Cinema is thousands and thousands of pictures all stitched together, and it is more time-based, but music and sound is a purely time-based medium. It does not exist unless you extend it over a period of time. And when you respect that time, when you take it seriously, and you put thought into what the movement of air should be representing over between this second and this second in this time code of this show, I think you're doing you're hitting a very important point on your checklist. And Jeremy Zuckerman not only transcended just getting what was necessary, writing a couple themes for the characters, writing a theme for the show, merci bonsoir, as we say here, like, I think they went above and beyond. I think he went above and beyond and really created that universe of moving air in a world where the visual and storytelling side were already so solid that you couldn't do without a solid foundation of sound.
Absolutely. I really want you to come on for another anime. We got to work something out. We're gonna go through like your watch list here, man, because like anytime you come on, it's always a pleasure, Mike. For people who love hearing you discuss Avatar with me today, if they want to hear more of what you do, where can they find you?
So yeah, I'm on Twitch is my most prominent platform, I suppose, is studio _Mike_ on YouTube as well, at studio _Mike_. Those are pretty much where I hang out on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, if you're interested in getting some more musical perspective, that's where you could find me. But before you do that, go watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then go and binge every episode of JaianMusic podcast, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Right, yeah, you can find more episodes of JaianMusic Notes in your favorite podcatcher. Just look it up there. Give us a 5-star review. My at is at JaianMusic on social media, and my website is JaianMusic.com. Reminder, the podcast is sponsored by Laser Audio Technologies, so you can use code JaianMusic and get 25% off at checkout. And GoPro Keo does all of the artwork, linked in the description. Thank you, everyone. And so for myself and Studio Mike, this has been another episode of JaianMusic Notes. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you so much.